AEW Dynamite comes to the Sears Centre this Wednesday, as well as Champaign, not too far away. And you can find out more at AEWTix.com. Of course, check it out Wednesday nights on TNT and the TNT app. Someone you will see there is a man who is he's prolifically an unscripted, violent man. Jon Moxley, how are you?
That's pretty good. I don't know which camera to look at.
There's two right now, so we're filming both angles.
I thought this was radio. No, I just can't. I had my AEW swag shirt underneath this for earlier on TV, but then I got really cold and put this on. But I didn't think we'd be on camera, so I left my hoodie
Chicago,
on.
you got to layer up, man.
Yeah,
it happens.
got to layer up.
Yeah. So AEW, this whole new chapter of your career. How exciting is this for you creatively? You seem like on television, everyone who's seeing it seems like, wow, he seems like he's very into what he's doing.
It's very cool. AEW Dynamite, we'll be here in your neck of the woods tomorrow night in Chicago, the Sears Centre. And the following week, only about a 2-hour drive, or if you're seeing this in the Champaign area, up in Champaign, Illinois. So we're really putting a foothold in this part of the country. Chicago's one of the biggest, best wrestling markets in the world. And the fans here are some of the most unique, loudest, passionate fans in the world. Everybody in professional wrestling knows the fans of Chicago, that this is a wrestling town, and they're going to go nuts, and they're the kind of fans that can sustain a long weekend of wrestling and keep the energy up, and we're excited about it. I've never been to the Sears Centre. It's kind of the home of the genesis of All In, All Out, and AEW. And I was in WWE at the time when all that happened. So this will actually be my first trip to the now historic Sears Centre in the early days of its history making. So we're trying to make our own stamp here in the Chicago area, and we're starting tomorrow night.
So recently you had a very talked about match with Kenny Omega. He's one of the most talked about wrestlers in the world. Everyone knows him as the Bout Machine. He's such a great athlete. He's this. And then you guys went in a very violent, bloody direction. There was barbed wire. There was mouse traps. A lot of people talked about this match. Someone who talked about it was someone you're familiar with, your wife, Renee Young. People have seen it. She was tweeting about it. What was that conversation like after that match? Because everyone else is talking about it, but what was she telling you about that match? Because a lot of it was, oh, my God, and why are you doing this?
Over dramatic. Come on, it comes with the territory. You know what I mean? You sign the contract. We're together forever, and I would love you forever. But you got to understand that if you're one of my friends or loved ones, especially if you're my wife, you're gonna deal with some moments where things get a little cringy and weird. I tend to fly close to the flame sometimes, not just in wrestling, but just in general in life. I'm a lot better now than I was, in my younger days as far as, making poor decisions. But, I'm always going to be like, you're going to have those moments,
Yeah.
That's part of a marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could roll my bike down a mountain tomorrow and break my neck, you know what I mean?
True.
These things are constantly on the precipice of happening.
So when that match is set up and you guys are going through everything, is there a part of you that's like, I know this is going to get this reaction. I know this is going to get this. Like, you seem like a guy who really embraces a crowd losing their mind. You really take in the moments. Is there a time when you're out there and you're like, we got him. I know this is working.
I love the whole thing. I had so much fun. I love the awkward tension in the air. I love those. You don't get the reactions very much anymore. I mean, you get a lot of but it's a whole different thing when it's no, oh God, oh, I don't even, that's so much more intense. That's it's cool, man.
It's a different sauce. Yeah,
totally different sauce. And I knew there was gonna be a lot of people that would be like that's not their
cup of tea.
Yeah, some people are just grossed up. I've never been offended or had any problem with anything that I've watched in wrestling I've never gone, ooh, I can't watch that. I've seen some gross stuff. I've seen some horrifying stuff.
You did some of those combat zone shows back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some stuff where I'm like, oh God, even I'm grossed out by that, but that's cool. I wish I'd have thought of it. So yeah. So if you don't have the stomach for that level of gratuity, whatever, then I'm not offended by it. No. We painted the painting we wanted to paint exactly as we intended, but not everybody's going to have that painting hanging in their living room.
Yeah. Some people will be like, I want a Picasso.
Might make some people uncomfortable. I was thrilled with the whole thing.
AEW opens up all these new opportunities for you as a top-level performer and a star that people want to see. So then when you start to do those things, you look at new achievements, new things you seek out to do. What are some things in AEW that you know you couldn't do before that you know you can do now and you're very, very hungry to do them?
Accomplishments in this is like not so much anything tangible or whatever, but at the end of the day, when my career is over and I want to be able to like have the accomplishments are little pieces of work, whether they be one match, one promo, one program, one thing, start to finish, your body of work. Like to me, the Kenny Omega match that's a accomplishment. That's something I can hang on my shelf and be like, look at this 10 years from now. It'll still look just as gross 10 years from now. But I just want to keep doing stuff like that, no matter how big or small they are, like every week, and just have a little moments and little cool creative things. And that's what's cool. There's so much creativity going on in AEW. Nobody's being hindered whatsoever, for better or for worse. Everybody's throwing everything against the wall just to see what sticks. And if Darby Allin wants to do something with a body bag and get crowd surfed because he's a creative guy, we're going to be like, cool, let's do it. We're not going to be like, oh, it's stupid. We're going to let him do it. If somebody comes up with a crazy, high-flying, ridiculous, death-defying spot in the match, we'll be like, okay, go for it. Just don't die. Like everybody's just doing whatever they want to do. And that's fun. So it's like I don't really have any. I don't have some like thing that I'm like, oh, I always wanted to.
You want to keep a feeling going.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to kind of fly by the seat of my pants a lot on this. I know that there's I'm constantly kind of like learning, and because I kind of tried to start from scratch when I left WWE, and just kind of like I was like, I don't even know what I want to do anymore. So I want to kind of start from scratch and rethink my whole style and who I am as a character and whatever. Like I don't even really have a character per se. I'm just kind of messing around. I know the roles that I like to play in the ring, and I like to be an aggressive antagonist motherfucker.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
And that feels comfortable and good. So that's like the position I try to keep myself in. And man, the cool thing is just anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Is there anyone in AEW you're looking to antagonize at any time in the future? Someone you're like, oh, I could do something really fun with him, or I know we can have a great match, or wow, what could we do with that guy?
I mean, I wrestled, brought him up earlier with Darby Allin the other week. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's just cool.
There's a lot of comparisons between you guys.
Yeah, I love that he just doesn't give a damn what anybody thinks about anything. I love that. So I think me and him are kind of destined to probably have a few more clashes down the line, and just man, everybody's so whole roster at AEW is so impressive. Just the things some of these guys, the athletes they are, the things they can do physically. I was watching Ray Phoenix and Nick Jackson the other night, and at some point you just after the fifth jaw-dropping amazing thing that they do, you just go, okay, come on, fuck you, I gotta follow that dude, come on. So it's exciting to just kind of be able to like be front row and watch all those people, so let alone
have to go on after
I get the chance to like antagonize, as you put it, all these people. So yeah, it's exciting, man. Right now, just like literally anything can happen. Anything you could imagine, or quote unquote fantasy book or anything like that, it's all on the table, and it's all kind of fluid. and like literally anything could happen. So it's pretty cool.
Well, tomorrow we're talking to someone you know, and you have some history within the ring. He's the champion of AEW, Chris Jericho. He certainly is on a new role himself and seems very wild in the words and things that he's saying and the guys that he's running around with. Is there a time in the future when you and him meet for that title?
Chris Jericho is a very, very, very smart man.
Yeah.
He's one of the smartest guys in the business. Mm-hmm. That's why he's been at the top of this industry for so long. And he's, drifting toward being the legitimate greatest of all time. So what I mean by that is Jericho ain't dumb. He ain't gonna fuck with me.
It's a fair question. AEW has such a fun vibe. There's a lot of fun characters there too, and they have some lighthearted comedy elements. There's been times in your career when you get to play a little bit of those characters. Is there anyone that like you've seen there like you can never do that anywhere else? Or this is so different and weird. You mentioned Darby Allin. What do you think of some of the other supporting characters like a Luchasaurus or Marco Stunt and different guys like that? That I really think AEW is given this huge platform that I don't think they would get anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, look at Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
Plays gets a Road Warrior pop every time he comes out, and it's great because you see all this different stuff. Like there's no formula. Anything that works, we give it a platform and give it a chance to work and get over. And all these different things that are kind of various. People's kind of like some people really like high flying lucha libre, this and that. Some people really get into fun comedy stuff like that. Some people only want to see hard hitting people getting dropped on their head stuff. Everybody likes something a little different. Some people like the sports entertainment. People on the mic going back and forth, and we have all of that on the show. It's unpredictable. It's Dynamite is a very
apropos
name because it's like a powder keg of anything that happened. Whereas in WWE or other promotions, maybe like not trying to throw any shade or anything, but it can be very predictable because they have a formula. Show opens, guy comes out with mic, talks. Other guy's music hits, comes out with mic, talks. We've made the main event for tonight or whatever. And, like, there's these patterns and formulas that you see and subconsciously as a fan what's happening and you can predict stuff. We don't have any formulas or patterns yet. One week we open the show with Nick Jackson in Phoenix and you see this ridiculous match. One week we open with a promo. One week we open with, who knows, maybe we'll open with the world title match tomorrow night. Maybe Chris Jericho says, I'm the champion and I'm going on first. Mm-hmm. That could happen. I'm not saying that's happening. It could. I think it's a great idea. Mm-hmm. I'm going to text somebody right now. Let's just open the show, man.
Let's do it.
World title.
Let's do it. Yeah. I get the winner.
Yeah,
there you go.
We could do anything.
You're venturing into film. I know you have done some acting and different things in the past, and you have a role coming up that involves you kind of performing as a fighter, which isn't too far off from what you do. Tell me about the movie. It seems like a really exciting project.
Well, I just finally finished it. Mm-hmm. I'm still haven't recovered. Mm-hmm. I'm like, not just from today, being up at whatever in the morning, just from the last few weeks. I really kind of like overextended myself with my schedule. I was like, yeah, let's do that and let's do that and do that, to the point where I was like, wow, I'm like way too busy, busier than I was when I was in WWE, and just somebody else was making my schedule for me, and thing is, I didn't have anybody to complain about, or I didn't have anybody to be like, they're screwing me over, keep me on the road. I made my own schedule. I screwed myself. But this movie was a very cool opportunity that when it came up, I'm not a guy who's like, I don't even really consider myself an actor. I'm not going to be like pounding the pavement in L.A., knocking on doors, I don't really have any aspirations to like take over Hollywood or anything like that. But if there's something that's fun and cool that's kind of in my wheelhouse, I'll take a look at it. So, and this was like kind of a merging of pro wrestling and MMA, and I'm obviously a big fan of both. And I love doing fight choreography in movies. Like, that's the funnest part. I don't even have to be in the movie. You could just make me the stunt double guy because I just have fun doing the choreography. And it was kind of a collaborative effort between everybody, and I kind of got to add my 2 cents into to like some of the stunt stuff and everything. So it was really cool. But it was like this final trip. We filmed in Regina, Canada. Very, very cold, very small airport, hard to get to. That's a long travel day. And we were in the sound stage that's with like a bunch of extras doubling as like a big arena, though, like green screen some of it in. But it's this cold sound stage, and you're out there having this. This was when we did like all the fight scenes.
Yeah.
So you're like in barefoot in your underwear in this cold sound stage. Every time you do a little bit and start getting warmed up, it's like cut, switch the angle, everything. So I was like 10, 12, 14 hours of just trying to stay warmed up, throwing shadow punches, doing jumping jack, trying to like keep your body warm. And then every time you start to get a little warmed up, then they'd stop. And we didn't have stunt guys.
So
me and Alex, the guy who was my opposite in this, we didn't have anybody taking our thought, so we basically were just, simulating these fights at about 75% and just doing everything from different angles and just really, like, he ended up tearing his groin at the end of it. We had to actually change around some of the choreography because he couldn't walk by the end of it. So we really beat the crap out of each other for about 4 days straight to get this fight on film. So hopefully it looks really good because I really sacrificed for it. And the worst part was between every take, then these girls come up to you because you're supposed to look sweaty, and they spray you down with cold water, and you're just like, ah! By the end of it, and you got all this fake blood on you, so you're sticky. So you're like this giant, freezing cold cherry Jolly Rancher by the end of it. You're just like sad. I was ready to be done with that shoot for sure, but it looked really cool. I saw some of the footage, so.
You're excited for it to come out, and when do you think people can see it?
Movies take like
take for a year.
It could be a year. I don't know. I have no idea, but just I'll let y'all know when it's out.
There we go. AEW Dynamite is every Wednesday night on TNT. You can also watch on the TNT app and catch him live this Wednesday at the Sears Centre, and of course coming soon to Champaign, Illinois as well. Thank you so much, John.
Yeah, man, don't miss it.